So only one shrine left to go. And I thought I would just come up this way, even though I knew it was dangerous. Get a nice sunshine. But, despite that, you get a warning about the temperature. It's getting dangerously low. So, you can see that little flashing circular icon there. It's the little marker is over into the blue section, meaning it's cold, and Link is shivering. And if you stay in that state without any cold protection, then as you can see, Link will just be taking damage, and all he's doing is walking around. So definitely need to wait to come to a cold area like this until we're better prepared. So I hurried back down the mountain, where now you can see the temperature gauge is back more towards the middle. So, and we're not taking damage anymore. So. And I saw this big rock, and I thought, oh, I bet there's something underneath that. First time I played through this, I totally passed it up. Didn't even think about it. So I thought, we'll try a bomb, blow it out of the way. Nope, that didn't work. And I thought, well, maybe it's one of those big metallic rocks like we saw before, so let's try magnesis. But if I had been thinking about it, I would have realized that most of the time, outside of the shrine where you just get a new ability, it gives you something to do with the new ability you just got. So we actually need to use stasis on it and then knock it out of the way. You can see it just launches it straight off the mountain. But underneath that giant rock was a treasure chest. And here we have our first bow. Which, despite being a weapon, we will need to use a bow to get through the game. So, even though I don't really plan on using it for attacking stuff necessarily, there are times when you need to use one. Don't have any arrows though, so it's just a dry fire. You don't want to do that with the real bow. It's bad for them. So we could have climbed back down the cliff and all that, but I thought, well, we already took the time to climb all the way up here, and I know where I need to go, so I'm going to just go ahead and... Oh, there's a whistle. I was playing around with the directional buttons. The down one has a whistle. We don't use that yet, but eventually, when we get a horse, that's what you do to call your horse if they're, off from a little ways from you. So. But I knew where I needed to go next and what I needed to do. So instead of hoofing it over there, legging it over there, I thought, well, I'm just gonna use the instant travel feature and go back to the closest thing that I can do, which is the starting place, Shrine of Resurrection. So here we are again in familiar scenery. We've got the same bonfire up ahead as we, or campfire rather, up ahead as we did at the start, and the old man's hanging out there. But this time it's closer to nighttime. So if you go around here a little ways, you can take sort of a shortcut back to where I was trying to get. I was just double checking to see if there was more apples, but there weren't. They hadn't grown back. But up here is actually a Bokoblin camp, and I kind of had to avoid that so I didn't alert him by going right along the edge here. I thought, well, better steer clear of that. So I got as close as to the edge of the cliff here as I could. And now, like I was saying before, this is a, it's a way we could have gone from the start. Because see, there's the Temple of Time, and we actually climbed out that window. So we could have just gone straight up here. So there's lots of ways you can approach things. But I knew from before that there was a certain something growing over here. It's going to be of use. It's a spicy pepper, and you may recognize this from a couple parts ago at the old man's cottage. This was what was on the table, and we didn't pick it up then. But now, I'm going to pick all these, because this is what will help us fight off the cold up on that mountain. Now, if you had cooked the seafood dish, spicy meat and seafood fried, that recipe that the old man told us about in his diary, then he would have given you the warm doublet, and that also is protective. It protects you in cold climates. So that's one way you can do it. But even if you didn't get it, like we didn't get it, you can still have another way to do it using these spicy peppers. Here I thought, I'm just going to swim, because that's a nice change of pace. But unfortunately, I had some difficulties here, running out of stamina. I tried to climb up to somewhere where I could stand, but it didn't have enough stamina left, so... Fortunately, it just starts you right back here. Just like what happened when we got caught in that bog from before. But now most of Link's hearts are gone, so I had to eat some food there to recover them. I thought, okay, well, let me try again. So I didn't remember how little stamina you actually have for swimming. Like I thought you would last longer when when Link's swimming down there. But surprisingly, no. So I thought, okay, I want to see, because I saw this something sitting on that little island there, and I thought, oh, what's that? I'll go check it out. I knew Link would have the stamina to reach that, at least. It's a sword in the stone. It's a rusty broadsword, which we don't really need. Totally reminded me of really old Zelda, though, on the Super Nintendo, where you're in the forest and you find all these fake swords, and Link pulls it out and he says, "This is it, the Master Sword," and then he says, "No, this can't be it. Too bad." So, made me think of that. Here I was trying to remember how to throw a weapon, a melee weapon, because you can do it, but I couldn't remember how exactly to do it. I was going to take the sword and just throw it. But I looked at the basic controls, and that didn't seem to tell me either how to throw it. So it's like, oh, well, whatever. No big deal. So I just moved on. But then I thought, okay, I've got to be far enough out here now to be able to swim my way back to the bank, right? Unfortunately, the answer is no. I wasn't, again. This time I got real close though. There's a fish that jumped. Could have grabbed it when those question marks showed up there, but... And that's where you can get a fish if you do want to do the spicy meat and seafood fry recipe. You grab a fish out of here. And use that to cook, but... Thought I could stand up here on this part, but no, Link was still clinging to the wall, so... I tried to make a jump for it, and no luck.